Alrighty folks, in today's psychological lecture, we're going to be talking about how to become a profitable day trader. Now, a lot of you guys probably clicked on this video thinking that there's going to be some secret strategy or secret sauce that I'm going to give you that no one else has. But the reality of profitable day trading is a bunch of different variables that you haven't even been thinking about, that were in front of your face this entire time. It wasn't some secret sauce, yet you don't want to look at these things because it's the boring shit. It's the shit no one wants to do. It's the shit no one wants to come to reality with. And what I can tell you, there's so many things to talk about, but what I can tell you, truly profitable trading comes off of the backbone of your thought process, your psychology. A lot of people will say, oh, trading psychology, that's why you're not good at trading. And what I've noticed is when I was unprofitable, I would sit there and listen to people saying, oh, it's my trading psychology. And I'd be like, okay, cool, but what does that mean? Right? What the fuck is trading psychology? Why are you not willing to tell me what that is? And the reason why that is because majority of people on YouTube are chatting shit, right? They're like, oh yeah, you're unprofitable. The way to become profitable is behind my secret indicator or my secret strategy or this or that. All of that shit is bullshit. I am telling you, what has changed me personally, I'm not gatekeeping this from you guys. What has changed me personally, and also the hundreds of people that I've created to become profitable day traders, is the thought process, the mentality, the self-analyzation and self-reflection. These are the things that no one wants to do, but it's the things that actually will lead you down to being a profitable day trader. You're too lazy to sit there and journal what your thought process is. You're too lazy to sit there and reflect on why you felt certain ways with individual candlesticks you were looking at. You don't want to look at these things. Majority of you guys have a proven strategy that has been proven by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that became profitable using that strategy. And you know this, right? The whole reason on why you selected the strategy you selected is because it's been proven by other people, whether that be ICT or supply and demand or whatever the case is. Yet you know this, but you don't want to come to reality with what it's been all along. And it's your thought process, it's your psychology, it's the repetitive mistakes you keep making. It's all of these things compiled into one big ball of basically shit. And you aren't willing to sit there and say, how do I kind of dissect this ball and understand it so then I can avoid myself from it? How do I sit there and understand what my individual problems are? This is a lesson that I've been constantly repeating throughout this entire channel and this entire time. And you guys keep coming back to these videos, but I guarantee it, maybe 100 or 300 out of the 2,000 to 3,000 viewers I get per video actually follow along with doing the things that I tell them to do. I know this. I know it for a fact. I know a lot of you guys are not willing to put in work and come to reality because it's not cool. Oh, but what about this 1 to 10 RR system? Oh, but this guy bottom ticks and top ticks. Oh, but this guy has this thing. Oh, but this guy that has that thing. Bro, none of that shit means jack. If you can't understand what your individual problems are, nothing will save you. Not a trading strategy, not an indicator, not a mentor, nothing. You need to be self-sufficient and understanding what your problems are. I tell this to my Discord members all the time. I tell them to figure out and solve what their individual problem was before coming to me. Now, what this does naturally is makes you self-sufficient with understanding, okay, I have X, Y, and Z problem. Now, this is the solution. Now that I have the solution and the problem identified, let me go for reassurance to my mentor or to me, right? That's how I teach all of these people. I don't teach them to just come crying to me, oh my God, why is my trading strategy not working? Bro, if your mental outlook to life is like that, where you're just hopeless and helpless and you're 100% reliant on someone else, you're not going to make it. You're just not going to. You need to build the bone in your brain, not bone, but I guess just build your brain overall to sit there and say, what are my problems? Now, you might have trading strategy problems. You might have trading psychological problems. You might have fear. You might have greed. You might have FOMO. You might have over leveraging. You might have over trading. You might have these things that you just cannot knock off. Well, I'll tell you how to fix all of these problems. I'll tell you the exact solutions. Yet you guys don't have the discipline to sit there and apply these solutions. I'll tell you guys, okay, The way you stop having FOMO, greed, and fear is by sitting there for at least 2 hours a day backtesting, forward testing, journaling, reviewing your journal on a day-to-day basis, rewatching these lectures, joining a mentorship. I tell you guys, do all of these things. And then you sit there and say, yeah, but I don't feel like doing these things. And the nicest way I can put this to you guys, trading is already so difficult as is. If you are not willing to do the things the vast majority of human beings are basically also not willing to do, you're going to fall into the same category as them. And it's just overall sitting there and saying to yourself, how do I separate myself from the masses? If the masses do something a particular way, how do I avoid myself from what they do? Because what they do leads them down to where they are, right? Majority of people will go down the traditional route of basically life, college, getting a job. And that's also why the vast majority of human beings will never touch $1 million a year, right? So the way that you get to $1 million a year is by understanding that everyone else is doing something a certain way, and you're just not going to go down the traditional route and the traditional way, right? This is the reaffirmation to your brain. We have been programmed to be basically doing the things that everyone else does, and think the exact same way as everyone else does. But what I'm telling you here now, especially in day trading and profitable day trading, you need to separate yourself from the masses. If majority of unprofitable day traders have X, Y, and Z instilled into their head and the way that they think, you need to do A, B, and C to ensure you're not going down X, Y, and Z route. So what X, Y, and Z can be is over leveraging, over trading, bad psychology, poor risk management, not an actual good strategy, not willing to pay for a mentorship. That's the characteristics of what the masses do. Now that you understand this, how do you get away from X, Y, and Z? You do A, B, and C. You don't overtrade. You don't over leverage. You don't have poor risk. You stick to one thing and one strategy, and you learn on that strategy every single day. You backtest, you forward test, you journal. You do all of these things, and then naturally you separate yourself from the crowd. That's the work. A lot of people will come and ask me all of the time and say, Salwan, how do I become profitable? And I'll tell them, backtest, forward test, journal, basically have a relationship with God, review their journal, pay for a mentor, do all of the things that you could do. And then they'll sit there and say, yeah, but I don't really feel like doing that. Okay, so don't come to me and don't come to these videos because this entire time you have known the solutions to all of your problems, yet you are not willing to do the things that the vast majority of people are also not willing to do. So you're going to fall into the crowd and the demographic of 99% failures. You are going to be like everyone else because you aren't willing to do what everyone else is also not willing to do, right? It's not, and I'm not even saying these things for motivation to you guys. I'm not even saying these things so you're like, oh yeah, let me lock in. No, I'm literally saying this to you so you understand the probable chance of you making it if you don't do these things right now is relatively low. Sure, there's going to be an outlier that doesn't ever have to journal. Sure, there's going to be an outlier that doesn't ever have to backtest or forward test. Sure, there's going to be an outlier that can overtrade or over leverage and still bounce back from it. There's always going to be outliers for everything and everyone. But what I'm saying to you is if you want the control in your hands to sit there and say, you know what? I want to become profitable on my own time, and I want to have the full-fledged control in my hands to become profitable and not just be like everyone else that sits there and says, oh yeah, hopefully I become profitable in 2 to 4 years. Hopefully. Like, I want you guys to think about this. Majority of profitable day traders, their whole career and the amount of money that they make is off of hopes and prayers. There's no sense of like maybe certainty. It's like, oh yeah, hopefully. Yeah, just hopefully it works out. Instead of, no, I'm doing the things that everyone else does not want to do and that will put me in a position that no one else is able to be in. Right? Like, it's like, okay, if you know majority of day traders don't backtest, forward test, journal, don't have a relationship with God, don't prioritize all of these things on a day-to-day basis, and then they're not working hard, well, if you just start doing these things, where do you think you're going to end up? You think you're going to end up with the rest of the crowd? No. Because human beings leave behind patterns. If majority of humans do certain things, they get into a certain category of people, right? Stereotypes, let's say, right? Now, stereotypes might seem racist for some of the stereotypes, but they're true for a reason, right? It's just the reality. I'm not going to name individual stereotypes, but you guys can think about a bunch of different stereotypes. You naturally think that thing because human beings naturally will leave behind patterns. And it's the same thing with day trading. Unprofitable day traders leave behind patterns, and they basically do the same bad things over and over and over again. Great, now that you understand what they do in their day-to-day habits, separate yourself from them and do the exact opposite of what they do. And maybe, and just maybe, if you do the exact opposite of what 99% of people that fail do, you'll be the 1%. Because you're not programmed like everyone else that sits there and says, oh yeah, you don't need to look at the markets on the weekends. You don't need to review your journal on the weekends. Oh yeah, I would say take the weekends off, bro. You're going to fail. Yeah, you're going to. I promise you you're going to fail if that's your thought process and outlook. Now, look, before anyone wants to comment anything about what I've just said, I have created hundreds and hundreds of profitable day traders. And unless you have also created hundreds and hundreds of profitable day traders, I don't want to hear your opinion, and I don't care to hear your opinion. I love you guys. I'm doing this because I'm helping you guys. I don't get compensated for these YouTube videos. I make maybe like 30 bucks on them, 20 bucks, which is, if you haven't been able to tell by now, not really much money to me. But it's like a lot of people have opinions, like about, oh, what's the right way or what's the wrong way? And it's like, okay, well, you as the viewer right now, if you're taking advice from someone who has not created hundreds and hundreds of profitable day traders and is also profitable themselves, then why would you take their opinion? It's the same analogy I always repeat. Why would you listen to a fat person on how to lift? Why would you listen to a broke person on how to make money? Why would you listen to an unprofitable trader or a trader that maybe is even profitable but has not also created hundreds of profitable day traders on how to become profitable? You have the problem right now. I've given you all the solutions and you have not yet implemented them. What are you expecting to happen? If nothing changes, what changes? Your life is going to go exactly the same. So you know this now. It is your choice on what you do from here. If you draw the line in the sand and you actually make the decision to change your life and the circumstances in your life. I have so many people in my day-to-day life. It's almost getting exhausting to this point, but it's a beautiful problem to have. Every single day I wake up with at least one really crazy testimonial. Earlier, I have a more private exclusive mentorship. It's called the Private Accelerator. One of the students in there activated 5 Express accounts last Monday, and he showed me, he was like, yo, what sizing should I do on my Express accounts? I was expecting maybe like a couple $100 in the balance. And this fool pulls up his balances. It's 7.5K on one account. I was like, damn, 7.5K on an Express? You're crushing it. He was like, nah, bro, this is times 5 accounts. And he opens the top drop down on the Expresses. And there was $35,000 across all 5 accounts. It was 7.5K per, which was insane. Honestly insane. But yeah, man, like I wake up to new people saying, bro, you've changed my life every single day. And I'm so grateful to have put them in that position. And I'm just telling you now, just at least try. There's no harm in trying what I'm telling you to, that I've been telling you to for the last 6 months. Try it for 2 to 4 weeks. See if your trading gets any better. See if your psychology gets any better. Backtest, forward test, journal, join a mentorship, basically look at your journal on a day-to-day basis, understand what your individual faults were, write down what your faults were within your trading strategy and trading psychology, fix those problems, have enough discipline to go to the gym every single day and do the rest of the things, and your trading will just naturally transform. That has been the secret sauce. Like, it's getting to the point where I have people join my Discord and say, oh, bro, I'm not going to lie, before I joined this Discord, I thought all of the payouts were fake. Like, is this even real? They doubt the amount of progression I have given to people. And I am telling you, just try. Just try it. There's no harm in trying. There's no harm in backtesting, forward testing, journaling, practicing your relationship with God, reviewing your journal every day, staying disciplined, going to the gym. There's nothing wrong with these things. You're not going to hurt yourself by doing these things. So just try for 2 to 4 weeks. See how your life goes and see how your trading goes. And if it starts to benefit, like it would and it will. Just continue doing it and you'll make a shit ton of money. That's the solution. That's been the secret this entire time. So give it a try. Let me know how your life ends up going. Anyways, y'all, I love you guys. That's going to be the end of this one. If you guys made it to the end of this one, leave some comments or some thoughts about what you thought about this video overall. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.